back of your agenda, for the people that have been working in the summer and early fall, there's a long list, lots of people to thank for all of their work. We are filming this meeting for the first time ever, so it will be available on demand on our website. Not exactly sure where at this point, but we've got Drew Allman, a senior intern in video tech, who is sweetly doing this for us. And that will keep the parents who aren't here in the loop. If you have any suggestions for PTA, please tell me or Eloise Meacham, who'll be following in my footsteps. We're happy to hear any suggestions. And let's see, we just need one little order of business, and that is to approve the minutes from last April's meeting. Do I have a motion to approve those? Okay. Eloise, thank you. And a second? Kathy, thank you very much. And right now we will have Fran and Gina present our Central Market caterers. Okay?
We have a team of Central Market people here today that's doing a great job. So I know y'all know what to do, and they have some things on the chairs. And I wanted to introduce Jonas. He's the general manager at the store, so he's going to tell you a little bit about what they're talking about.
Yeah, absolutely. So first of all, just want to thank everybody for letting us be a part of your day today. Obviously, everybody's time's sensitive, so we'll only take about an hour. No, just wanted to you're going to have a great lunch here. Just wanted to give kudos to our staff here. They just do a great job for us. Jennifer Combs is back here. She's my senior admin. She keeps me out of trouble every day. And so, again, just wanted to spend a couple of minutes here talking about our new store and kind of some of the things that we've done. We've been open since February 15th of this past year. And I'm glad to say one of the biggest opportunities that we had in this little store was we heard that we couldn't get a complete shop in the store. So over the past probably 3 to 4 weeks, so excited to be able to say that you can do a full shop now. So we've added tremendous amount of assortment to the store. We've added anything from paper goods to healthy living, which is a huge miss for us. That's been in the store as well. So, we pride ourselves in partnering with the community. We had tremendous turnout on multiple focus groups that helped us change our assortment there. So with a lot of work that y'all provided us and a lot of feedback that y'all provided us, we were able to make some quick changes in our new store. So a lot smaller, but again, just as mighty as the one across 75. So, again, I thank you so much for letting us be a part of your day. Anything we can ever do for you, you can pick up a phone or a phone call away, or we'll see you in our store. And again, enjoy your lunch. Team did a wonderful job putting it together for you. Appreciate your time.
Our treasurer, Kathy Softwell, will present the budget, and then we'll have our musical performance.
All right, this summer we were able to spend some time putting our budget together, and we have presented it to the PTA board, and it has been approved. And we budgeted for revenues, which are primarily our PTA dues, $34,000. Our operating expenses, we budgeted at $18,000, leaving us with a net income of $16,000. The great news is we had a record number of families join the PTA this year, and our PTA dues actually came in at $47,000. So that gives us an extra $13,000 to put to work for our kids and for our school. There were actually a handful of families who were so excited about PTA, they joined twice. So we are counting those duplicate memberships as contributions, but if you are one of those families and you did that in error and you would like a refund, just please come see me after the meeting. If there are any other questions, I'll be here after the meeting and you can come talk to me. Thank you.
Linda, would you like to introduce?
Absolutely. Susanna, thank you so much for inviting us to come. Every year we look forward to this. You are the first non-parent group ever to see this, and we kind of use you to test the waters. So be enthusiastic if you feel like it. If you look very, kind of horrified, then we'll change it all tonight. So it's okay. So we do appreciate you. I have the good fortune to direct the musical every year. My partner in crime down the water is over there. She is over there, who directs all the music. She does double duty. She coaches the singers and conducts the band. So this particular show is called Back to the 80s. It is a feel-good musical because we decided we all need to feel good this year. So it's a happy musical. It's about a group of senior class graduating from William Osham High School. There are 3 distinct groups. There are the geeks, kind of. There are the jocks, and then there are just the normal good kids. And they've taken about 22 songs from the 80s and wrapped a very flimsy plot around it, but the music is so much fun. So we hope that you come to see us and take a journey with us back to the 80s. We brought with us today Laura Gray, Loz Key, Lizzie Hinton, who sing. They are playing, it's hard to believe when you look at them, but they are playing the geeks in the show. We have to do a lot of makeup on them and geek them up a lot, but they are doing one of the songs called Walking on Sunshine. They have just found out that Lizzie got asked to the prom. So she's just so excited, and she's going to explain to you how they feel. So, enjoy.
And now we'll have Jenny James talk to us about TALC. The student council kids aren't here yet, probably still getting out of class, so come ahead.
All right. Hi, I'm Jenny James, and I am so pleased to work on this committee with my two co-chairs, Linda Edwards and Kathleen Wallace. This is the Teacher Appreciation Lunch Program. And for those of you who are not familiar with it, I'll tell you very briefly. This is a program by which the parents of students donate through the PTA, and then we collect the money, and that money is equally distributed among all the teachers here and all the staff, from Mr. Kelly to the custodial staff. And money is put into their Skyward accounts twice a year, beginning of each semester, so that they can have meals free in the cafeteria. And this is a great program because they are notified of this. We sent an email last week to all the teachers and staff to let them know that we were putting $200 in each of their Skyward accounts, and then attached to that email we have the list of all the students whose families or parents have donated. We don't put the amount of donated, but we do list all the students. So, and the teachers are so appreciative. It's not just a one-time gift, it's something that is a daily reminder to them how much we appreciate them and how much we support them. We have gotten some great emails back from the teachers that this just makes their life a lot easier. They don't have to worry about bringing their lunch. It allows them to go in the cafeteria and have a little casual interaction with students and parents working in cafeteria. And they just, like I say, it's a constant reminder to them how much we appreciate them. They say that the new teachers come in and go, "What? Parents are paying for our lunches?" They've never heard of such a thing. So I just want to tell you that you'll have 3 opportunities during the year to give to this. You'll receive a letter from Nancy and Kathleen and myself, probably November or December, and then another letter in another mailing in the spring to ask you to donate, to remind you, and then you might have noticed on online registration. The PTA generously underwrites the money for the mailings, so all the money you give goes directly to the teachers. We make that deposit, I think I said, like I say, we collect it, make a deposit in their Skyward accounts at the beginning of each semester, and we were able to donate $200 to each teacher, and we also give half of that to the permanent part-time employees. There are a few of them. Now, I will say our goal is to collect enough money so that they have free lunch here every day of the school year, and we're not quite there yet. So I'm hoping that when you receive your letters in November and at the end of the year that you'll keep that in mind, and if you've given before, maybe give a little bit more, and if not, just give whatever you can, because we would love to provide our teachers and our staff with meals throughout the entire year, because they really love it and appreciate it. Thank you. If you have any questions, you can see me afterwards. Thanks.
Okay, we have 2 executive officers from the Student Council, Brooke Strodel and Bronwyn Geyer.
Hi, I'm Brooke Strodel, and I'm going to talk about the Howdy Dance, which is this Friday after the football game. And it's really informal. You just go straight from the game. It's for the students. And it's really fun. It's one of the best dances. And it's just $10, so I don't know if your kids are going to want to go, but it's really great.
Hi, I'm Bronwyn, and for homecoming it's September 29th, and the theme is Under Southern Stars, and people are going to start asking after the Howdy Dance.
And then also we have a plan, which is going to be delivered in like 2 or 3 weeks if you order it, which is the earliest ever, which is exciting. So just be looking for that. The Howdy Dance, it's right after the game. You just until 11:30, 12, I don't know, around there. Yes. Okay, great. Thanks.
And Sarah Bailey, who is the president of the Community Service Council, is here.
Hello, yes, I'm Sarah Bailey, president of CSC this year. For those of you that aren't exactly familiar with what it is, CSC is, it's a school-based organization, and we work with a lot of local and global charities, along with all of the school organizations in the school that involve themselves in service work. We all cooperate together to put on a lot of big events to benefit the community, as well as some drives and fundraisers. And that being said, our first event this year is not this Saturday, but next Saturday, September 15th. And it's our annual car wash, and it's here at the school, right there in the teacher parking lot on Douglas. And this year it's going to benefit an organization called Camp John Mark, which is a summer camp for kids with disabilities or diseases that they may not typically go to a normal summer camp. So this is just a safe place for them to do the camp thing and not worry about any limitations that they might otherwise have at a normal camp setting. And we will talk more about that at our first September meeting, which is September 10th, this Monday at 8 o'clock in the multipurpose room here. And if your student is not already a part of CSC, we really encourage them to join, and they can do this by going to hpcsc.com and just filling out the information under the membership and applications part. And they need to do this in order to enter all their service hours. So if they did service hours over the summer, we're going to ask that they enter those by October 1st so that they count. And normally when a student does any kind of service hours that they want to count towards their 50 for graduation, they're going to go to hpcsc.com and enter them that way so we can count them for graduation. And typically it's extended for summer, but typically we ask that they do that within 30 days of the actual volunteer event so that we can count them, which is really important. So we just encourage y'all to come support the car wash next Saturday and get your kids involved, because it's a really great way to kick off the school year and get involved with CSC. And thank you very much.
Sarah, one question.
Yes.
Do you attend your CSC meetings monthly? Do you get a service hour for that?
No, ma'am. I think the service hours this year are strictly service-based, but in order to keep up your membership in CSC, you need to attend, I think, 2 meetings per semester, along with a service event, to keep up your membership in Community Service Council. Thank you.
Okay. Angela Fontana could not be here today, so she's just emailed me her announcement. So if y'all will bear with me, I'll just read this. The Parent Book Club will again follow the format established by last year's incredible chair, Catherine Granger. We will have 4 meetings this year, 2 in the fall and 2 in the spring, each honoring a teacher from each of our 4 grades. Our first meeting will be October 1st from 7 to 8:30 at Angela's house, 3604 University. It's actually on your agenda. And it will be honoring English 4 AP Tag teacher, Becky Weber. She's also the sponsor for the Bagpipe Advisor. And she will lead us in a discussion of Oedipus Rex, which she's trying to find a free translation for you to put on your phone. She said it's a weekend read, so free and short, can't beat that. They'll be sending out an email with that, the right translation for you to download. So look for the email coming this week. Okay, and next we have the senior activities. Becky LaCour, I think all we're saying is look for the packet. They're getting mailed Friday and should be there at your house next week, and self-explanatory. And thanks to everybody for paying their senior activity fee online. It was great turnout, 430, something like that, out of 480 kids. So it saved people a lot of time trying to collect that. Okay, the lunch bunch is Kim Plow here. I think we just have an October meeting that she's planning to be announced. And Roxanne Gottlich, I believe, is volunteering in the cafeteria since we have a few holes over there. So she and Ann have planned for this Monday at 11:30, Cantina Laredo. The topic is Help College Night Prep. So, of course, they wouldn't get just 1 or 2, but 3 college recruiters coming in for Arkansas, Alabama, and Rhodes College will be at the lunch bunch giving us tips on what to tell your child when they're just moving through the college night whole scene so that they can get the most out of it and make the best impression. Okay, so that should be fun. And then Lisa Kilpatrick is having hers for the sophomore parents at Cantina Laredo on the 29th, and she hasn't nailed down the exact speaker, but she's been talking to several colleges and their essay readers and their college app readers to give tips on essays and applications. Oh, it is. It's it's the 25th. It's a Tuesday. Sorry, that's my typo. And then Diane Tanner is going to talk about freshmen.
Okay, so I am the co-coordinator for the freshman lunch bunch along with Wendy Jones. And for those of you who know Wendy, Wendy definitely has her pulse on the class, much more than I do. I have a boy, and having just had a girl graduate, I knew much more about the pulse of the class than my son certainly does. So she's been great to work with. We are having our first one this Friday, September 7th, and it's Kathleen Fisher, and she is talking about Dating 101, the homecoming date. And I laughed when they said after the howdy dance, people will start asking. I've already gotten emails saying, would Colton like to be in our homecoming group? Lots of freshmen have already asked, so it will be very timely. We have the whole year already planned out, so just to give you a couple of months lead out as you're looking forward. We're trying to switch dates around, so it won't always be on Friday. It will always be at the same time, though, from 11:30 to 1 at Cantina Laredo. But our next one is going to be Tuesday, October 2nd, and it's Diane Wilcox talking about the importance of freshman year. And then on Thursday, we're having November the 8th, it's Jill Lane, and she's doing Eating Like a Pro, and it's talking about how to have your teens start eating like a pro, both for athletics and just to keep their energy and health up. And then in January, Michael Isles will be there to talk, and then we can talk about the spring when we're all ready to deal with it. I have to let you know, and I'm sure the other people will too, the RSVP dates, Cantina Laredo, when we talked with them, they were really adamant about us RSVPing a week ahead of time. So last Friday, I gave our call and said, plan on 70. I called them yesterday and said, plan on 95. So, because our RSVPs between Friday and yesterday went up that much. So I would encourage you to please, if you can, RSVP early, because we're supposed to let them know. I guess last year they had problems with wait staff and not enough people to give lunch fast. And I guess that's it. And if you have any questions, I think we had some emails go to a wrong email address because my email was put wrong on the blast that went out. So hopefully we've not undercounted on our SVPs, but I think it's going to be great, and we look forward to having you there.
Thanks, Diane. And Sarah Harden is the head of the Parent Education Committee, which is a district-wide committee. She's been on for several years and is doing a great job planning the whole year.
First of all, I wanted to thank those of you who contributed to the Parent Education Fund on online registration. We've got some wonderful events coming up that I wanted to share with you because it's right around the corner. For the first time ever, we have decided to sponsor an event for our students here at Highland Park High School instead of using the money just for the parents. And we have decided to bring back Richard Geary, who visited us last spring and did a talk on public and permanent. And it is a talk about making sure that your children are sending appropriate text messages and using the internet appropriately, because what they put out there is permanent. And he is a wonderful speaker, and he will be talking to all 4 grades on September 19th. So you might want to make sure your child is there that day, because that's a very big day for us here at the school. Also, another thing that the Parent Education Committee is doing, we are playing a wonderful Red Ribbon Week this year and really incorporating things at the high school level. And we are, first of all, we're having our parent coffee on Tuesday, October 23rd. Red Ribbon Week is the 22nd through the 25th. And we are doing, Kay Wyma, one of our own HPHS parents, wrote a book called Cleaning House, a mom's 1-year experiment to rid her house of childhood entitlement. And she's a very fun speaker. I don't know if you've heard her on Fox News or the local, Good Morning America. She really is in tune with what's happening here in the Park Cities, and I think y'all would enjoy hearing her. She'll be at the 5-6 Assembly Room at 11:30 on the 23rd. Now, our big exciting thing this fall is that our community was chosen out of the whole United States to be the debut of a movie called Behind the Orange Curtain. And we are doing this in cooperation with Studio Movie Grill. This movie is about the abuse of prescription drugs by teens that live in Orange County, California. And they felt that our community was the most similar to Orange County in all of America. It's a community where the kids are supposed to be happy and perfect and whatever and affluent, but they have seen what they call farming going on, and that is the misuse of pharmaceutical drugs. And our counseling staff here got involved with this and realized that this is a problem we need to address in the community. So we are having the screening with the filmmaker Brent Huff on October 24th. It's a Wednesday evening at 6:30, and the film will start at 7. What we're going to do is have a panel discussion with question and answers, and we've got an expert panel from law enforcement, from Southwestern Medical School, from our counseling staff, from CARE, and with the filmmaker. We feel this is very important. It is reaching down into even our elementary skills, because they get with their friends, open the medicine cabinet at parents' homes, and just have at it. So it really is an important event, and we are very limited in seating. So when you get an email from us that says click here to RSVP, please don't hesitate to do it, because our school allotment for it is 225 seats, and we've given a small allotment to the private schools. And so hopefully you all will respond to that email in quick timing. The last thing is that we are going to support another event called National Suicide Prevention Week, and that takes place next week. And they are planning to put, the Suicide Crisis and Prevention Center is planning to put 200 pairs of new or used shoes on the steps of City Hall in remembrance of teens who have committed suicide, from different schools in the Dallas-Fort Worth area. And they would like our school to participate by remember any loved ones at any age by donating used shoes. And so these shoes will be donated to a homeless shelter after the event. But if you would like to donate shoes to be put on the City Hall Plaza steps in remembrance of a loved one or a friend that has had suicide issues in their family, then we will be here to collect them in the front of the school on September 12th and 13th, which is next Wednesday and Thursday. We have other fabulous speakers the rest of the year, so stay tuned and we'll keep you informed. And this year we have a wonderful RSVP system set up. It's hppec@yahoo.com. So we will be able to monitor attendance at all of the things, so make sure you RSVP. Thanks.
We're running a little bit ahead, so Micah's not here yet, and we'll skip to David Hicks, who is the one responsible for our beautiful new website for the school district.
Thank you.
You can close the appointment telling me I need to be here, David.
I'm glad you are here.
Got it, thank you.
Well, thanks for having me. I'm excited that we're able to launch this new website, and hope everyone's had a chance to take a look at it. Last time we updated the district website, I think it was 6 or 7 years ago. It was becoming very cluttered. We had this menu bar on the left-hand side where every single department and organization, they all had their little tab on the side, and it was hard to find anything. So really what we wanted to do was create something that was easy to navigate. Any user could go on and find the information that they were looking for. So actually, we based it off of the high school's website. They redesigned theirs last year. So we went ahead and went off that design. And I mean, I really love it. I love the look of it. All these photos were taken through our campuses throughout the district. Before we had stock photos, just some random kid, you had no idea who it was. These are our kids, our staff. So I really love it. I think we even have Mr. Pollock up there too. So, but everything that you can find is located on these tabs up here at the top and the bottom. I'll go ahead and go to Parents, and you can find the information that you're looking for very quickly. We have Skyward. If you're looking to enroll a new student, you know, a new parent can find that information quickly. Updating your email address, it's right here under the parent page. So all that information is just pretty easy to find. Improved navigation is what we were going for. If you have any stories, if you're a PR rep for your organization or sports team, you can find a submit your news story here at the very bottom right in your online news form. Go ahead and fill in the blocks of who, what, where, when, why. You can attach photos and documents. It'll send it off to the communications department, and what we do is compile all those stories and put it in the newsletter. So the weekly newsletter that goes out every Friday. So you can find that on the home page. And let's see. And also, if you're looking to contact someone in the administration building, it's under the departments page. All the, you know, athletics, business services, communications department, all those departments are listed under here, and can easily find their contact information. But, you know, it's a work in progress. We launched it last week, and we're still going through finding all the little quirks and hoping there's no broken links, but there are a few. So we're going through and trying to clean it all up. But I hope you guys enjoy the new website and keep working on it. Thank you. I'm gonna bring back up your.
Good. Okay, next we have Micah Lyles, our great counselor. Here he is.
That weirds me out, so I'm not going to stand up there. Hi, guys. It's been a busy couple of weeks. We are feeling the effect of starting school a week later this year than we normally do, and so all of our programming got pushed up a week on us, and so we actually Friday woke up and said, oh, Wednesday is senior guidance. We should get ready for that. And so it's been fast and furious. But I wanted to give you some key dates and things that are coming up for the counseling department. It's all on the activities calendar, but the activities calendar can get a little muddy. So I thought I would call your attention to a few. First of all, a couple of reports. We had a great summer college application workshop with our seniors. We had about 112 of our seniors who took part in those 4 different workshops. Where we went over college applications, went over the essays, went over resumes, and had a really good day. We had Mike Mooneyham from TCU who came in and worked with our students on essays. He's young, he's pretty cool, and I think they listened to him more than they would listen to us. So it was good having him here, and we were really grateful to have him come over and do that. Fish Camp went pretty well this year. We were pretty pumped about it. We still have those improvements we want to make every year, but as far as the management of students, getting them through the process, splitting it back into 2 sessions was a good thing that we did this year. So we were pretty pleased with that. And then senior guidance we had yesterday. We hung out with seniors all day yesterday and just went over the college application process, and then probably saw some of you last night at the senior parent meeting. Moving forward, we have college night next Wednesday, 6 to 8 p.m., kind of throughout the building. That is primarily for sophomores through seniors. We already have over 200 colleges who will be represented. Our goal is to have that list posted on the website by Monday, or at least on Monday, so students can preview that list ahead of time, see who's going to be here, and make those determinations about who they're going to visit that night. Over the next 2 weeks, we do have about 100 college reps coming through during the school day to meet with our seniors. So if you have seniors, make sure they are checking that list on Naviance, because they do have to sign up for those visits on Naviance. They have to print out a pass ahead of time, clear it with their teacher that period, then they can come down and meet with that representative during the school day. But all that is done through Naviance. September 19th is our planned testing day for our sophomores, so that's the practice ACT test. That day, all of our students will be able to hear Speaker Richard Gary, who spoke to parents last spring, I believe. He talks about internet safety. Very knowledgeable, very entertaining speaker, and we're glad that Parent Education Committee is bringing him in to speak to our students on Plan Day. And the sophomores will get to hear him as well in the afternoon, so all of our students will hear him speak. We will also be doing junior guidance that day, so the counselors will be hanging out with the juniors, talking about registering for those ACTs and SATs, what kind of prep they can be doing for that, and getting those college lists going on their Naviance account. So it's really the first major point of contact we've had with the juniors since their sophomore conference in the spring. So that'll be all on September 19th. That all happens in a fun rotation where kids are just running all over the building. October 6th, we'll be having a mock ACT exam for juniors and seniors. That is, seniors probably are over it, but juniors probably more so. That is a Saturday morning, 8 o'clock. Revolution Test Prep comes in and runs that for us. They run it just like a real exam, and then the kids get a very comprehensive report afterward. They can go back through to kind of see how they did to prepare for that ACT later on. October 17th is our actual PSAT day for sophomores and juniors. So they will be testing that morning, and then we have our freshman community day that day. So that's the day that we bring in about 15 to 20 agencies to talk to our freshmen about community service opportunities and ways that they can get involved in those. And then we have a little fair format where they can go through and just talk individually to each of those groups. We always do some kind of a community service project that day. We have been working with both Smile Train and Operation Smile. And we have traditionally shown them the documentary Smile Pinky because it was directed by a graduate of HP, and she did win an Academy Award for that. So it's kind of a cool thing for them to connect with their own home and also abroad and looking at that. So that's the 17th. We are excited. We started last year doing a new student luncheon on October 24th. All students who are new to the district. We can't feed all the middle school kids who came over, but all of the students who are new to the district, we have a pizza luncheon that day where we bring in some of our ambassadors and different people to kind of hang out with them, just as a touch point. You know, they've been here for a little while, kind of see how things are going. So if you have students who are new to the district, they will be getting an invitation to come to that lunch on the 24th of October. And then the mock SAT exam. So we already did the ACT. The mock SAT will be on October 27th. Here in the cafeteria at 8 a.m. on that Saturday morning. Students will get information about how to register for both of those mock exams. They do that through the Revolution Test Prep site. All that will come out through an e-blast within the next couple of weeks, so they can get those things done as well. You probably saw on college night, they can register this year ahead of time, and it actually allows them to print out a barcode. All of the reps will have scanners, and so the kids won't have to fill out all of those cards. The reps will be able just to scan their barcode and get their name and their contact information. And it's up to the student if they want to get their barcode scanned. But it'll save them a lot of time that night, not having to fill out all of those cards. That email, I believe, has already gone out. So make sure you're looking for that and have your students register ahead of time for college night. So, is there a question? We opened it up to juniors originally, and if there's space available, we will allow sophomores to do that as well. Yeah, so Revolution Test Prep does all of the registration. It's a $10 fee. Every bit of that money comes right back to the campus. Revolution doesn't keep any of that. And so they will be the ones monitoring that. So if a sophomore calls to register, they'll tell them, okay, we'll put you on the wait list, and we'll notify you if we have space available.
So will there be an email that comes from the counseling office about how to register?
Yes, yes. We're finalizing details today, actually, so hopefully that'll be out next week.
What did you say about September 19th?
What are we doing September 19th? That's the day they're taking the plan test. That's the practice ACT test. That's during the school day. All of our sophomores do take it. It's during the school day. If they did. You could, I suppose. There's nothing else for them to do that day because all the sophomores will be testing, all the other groups will be doing their activities. So there's no classes.
Okay, sorry.
Is it also career aptitude?
There's a career aptitude component to it. That's more interest, career interest. where they go through and answer some questions about themselves, and they get some good career information on what's called the World of Work wheel. So it's a great test, and it does give them a pretty good prediction of how they'll do on that ACT. And just FYI, if you have sophomores and this is your oldest child, we will go back and look at PSAT and plan results to make some predictions about if ACT or SAT looks like it's going to be a better fit for your student. And so those practice tests are pretty critical for that component of it, so that we can make those predictions and make a better plan for them later on. So, yes?
So we're not back in registration. Which things do we have to want to sign up for when we do the practice PSAT and the mock
The plan and the PSAT, they did that through online registration. Through online registration? Okay. My understanding is the plan and the PSAT you would have done during online registration before school started. We don't work with that registration. And then the mock ACT, the mock SAT, and college night are the only three other components you're looking at for a registration.
So the September 19th, then we have to.
That should have already been done through online registration. Yeah, so just double check that. What we do is we basically order an exam for every student, and if a student did not pay for that during online registration, you'll be notified. Yeah, so for plan and PSAT, you should be okay. You'll be notified if you're not. The mock exams, you do need to register your students for those. I know it's a lot of information. You know where to find us if you need us. Thank you so much.
Lee, are the bells here? Okay. So we have several bells who are promoting their big event this Friday night. I'll let you introduce yourselves.
Hi, I'm Taylor Rather, and the Highland Bells Spaghetti Supper is tomorrow night from 5 to 7 in the cafeteria. You can dine in or take out, all for just $8 a ticket. There will also be a silent auction and raffle with hundreds of great items to bid on and win. So please check out our Highland Bells auction webpage listed on the agenda today for a complete list.
Hi, I'm Kirsten Burns, and as always, we're going to have spaghetti by Amore Restaurant, and of course, we're going to have music provided by DJ Andre.
I'm Natalie McDowell, and several Bell moms are out in the hall selling spaghetti supper tickets and raffle chances, so don't miss this great opportunity to support the Highland Bells. Our raffle this year is bigger and better than ever before.
Hi, I'm Kara Adams, and for only $5 a chance or 6 for $25, you could win one of our raffle baskets. Bite the Apple, A Girl's Best Friend, A Queen's Dream, Like My Bike, Snacks for the Night, or Some Like It Scots.
Hi, I'm Allison Schwartz. We're going to kick off the 2012 HP football season by drawing and announcing the winner of Some Like It Scott's basket right now to see who's won the fun Scott Shop items, including a reserved home game parking spot and 2 blue back seat varsity football tickets for all the home games this year. And the winner is the suspense. Jill Schrank, who was sold by Caroline Yarbrough. Thank you so much for supporting the Bells. Go Scots.
Okay, Suzanne Laidlaw and I have a little pitch for you for the PTA fundraiser that's coming up on September the 22nd and 23rd. And we heard this proposal from the representative from Catalyst Prep and thought, I think my son would like that and get something out of it. We were both thinking that. So it fits in a lot of kids' schedule from 1 to 5 on Saturday and 1 to 5 on Sunday. We have 40 signed up already, and their thinking is have a lot of kids in one room so that it feels like it's a seminar, kind of college-y, lots of momentum and excitement for studying for the PSAT, or if they're a senior and taking the SAT for the last time. This is apparently the most popular time to take the SAT in October. So it can fit a sophomore, junior, or senior for this boot camp. Depending on the enrollment, we're not sure if it will be at the middle school in the 7-8 assembly room, in the 5-6 assembly room, or in the multipurpose room here. So $25 of the $165 comes back to the school through the PTA. It just seemed like a win-win for everybody, for the school district, for the kids. It's offered at a very convenient time, at a low price point. What else, Suzanne?
This flyer has their website on it, which I found really interesting. There must be hundreds of testimonials on there. This is the first time they've done this in Texas.
Right.
They're really a California-based program. So we've not taken it or done it. We got interested after he came and talked to us, and not this way, but I have a son, and he just isn't going to sit in a big old, every Tuesday night at 6 go to prep. So I thought this would be a good way to get him sort of hyped up about it. It's kind of written to a teenage audience. The whole course is geared that direction.
So they'll sit in, it's more seminar, or are they going to be doing practice test, or?
It's not a mock test.
But
they have a study guide.
They have a 300-page notebook that we looked through, and it's really written to be funny. It's written by California writers. A lot of them have taken the SAT multiple times and scored 2,400 each time. But it's written by people who've written for Nickelodeon and just TV writers.
A lot of pop cultural references. The book is just real user-friendly, is what I would say. If you're, it's more like a, dummies guide or whatever, like we would all use for the, for the computer. It's written in that fun way instead of a, manual-ish way. So anyway, but it's short, short commitment. We just thought we'd try it. We don't have a product like that we were aware of after we both have older kids who've done lots of prep in lots of places. So we'll see.
Short is good in our
world.
In our world. So that's
I'm not sure how much benefit we'll get out of short, but probably more than we would get out of long and expensive. So.
And you're not driving to Plano. I mean, it is here. So it
Anyway.
just seemed like a good deal, good fit.
I have flyers if anybody wants them back here.
Okay. The prom committee is selling cups, napkins. There's two kinds of cups, or napkins, I think. Cocktail and dinner, and plastic cups and styrofoam cups. They're like $10 and $12, not sure prices. They are outside, Tricia Stewart and Laura Walsh. And are the cheerleaders out there yet? We are waiting on the cheerleaders. And we'll be ready for Walter. Not there? Okay, so there is a table for those interested, and there's probably a raffle for the tickets to their dinner September the 29th, I believe. Yes, September 29th. Okay, I will introduce Walter, and he will introduce his new assistant principals.
Thanks, Susanna. Good afternoon, everyone. Thanks for allowing me to be a guest speaker. I guess 3 years ago when I did this, I definitely felt like the guest speaker. I'm feeling a little less like a guest every year. But I really do appreciate your time and commitment to the school. And there are several things I wanted to cover. While I'm transitioning, let me pull back up this so that I'm not totally lost or waste your time. This has been, first, in a lot of ways, the smoothest start of a school year that I've experienced in a large high school. So I've been a principal for 10 years. I've had a little bit of a base of comparison, and there's some reasons that it happened well. And the first part is really everything from sports to band to musical performance. We had a lot of people in the building, students in the building to start the year off. The second piece was we had a great deal of technical support and help to make sure computers were working, to make sure that and we'll talk about some renovations we're taking care of, but a lot of behind the scenes work to make sure things started well. And I really do want to call out Fish Camp. I know Micah and Candace still are not totally satisfied that everything's perfect, but of the 3 years that I've been here, it's been by far the best Fish Camp experience. It wasn't chaotic, but it was fun. It also was something where we had about 500 plus students attend, so we had the great majority of our freshmen here. So on the first day of school, not only were the upperclassmen wearing pink shirts that were there to help so they could see them, but the freshmen really did have, for the most part, a very good first day experience and were ready for class. So there's several components to making sure that that year started well, but I wanted to make sure we called a few of those out. There is so much that I want to cover today, so I'm going to try to keep my time at a reasonable amount, and there's going to be some things that I kind of rush through. I want to make sure we do 3 things. I cover a couple of critical kind of emerging or current issues or items that we're dealing with or just dealt with. I want to spend some time to discuss the work of our long-range planning committee and where the school is going in the next several years. And then I want to talk about the main thing, instruction. And while it's not a Go Scots kind of moment, it's not one of those things where I'm introducing the Scotsman at a pep rally, it's the work we do. And it's the work that keeps this place the best academic environment possible for your child. So as we go through a few of those things, I'm looking for Evan. I think I see him. Ladies and gentlemen, our new assistant principal for O through Z, Evan Heckman. Evan is a graduate of Texas A&M University and Highland Park High School, class of 1991 here. So a couple of quick words and welcome to Evan.
I've told a couple of people this, and it's amazing to me, regardless of who the person is that I've met, whether student, parent, faculty member, custodian, cafeteria worker, how genuinely friendly everyone is. And I really appreciate that. And the fact that we are a technologically advanced school and it's okay to have your cell phone is also on silent. But I really appreciate everything that y'all have done and every other student organization has done to make me feel welcome. The little things, the cafeteria account, all that. I feel so blessed to be here, and I'm really thankful for the opportunity.
Thank you, Evan. Welcome. In a little while, we'll give her a chance to speak as well, but make sure that you meet Erica Castillo. She is our assistant principal for instruction. One of the things that we felt was a fundamental need, and the amount of work that Marta does with academic affairs, so you think of in a college environment with scheduling, schedule changes, working with counselors, your kids' academic needs, and the growing area of assessment, which is, it's a monster in a lot of ways, but it's also one that there's some real hope, and I want to discuss hopefully where we're going with assessment overall with students and accountability. Marta has got a lot on her plate, and one of the things that we couldn't reasonably ask is for that to be done really, really well while we have somebody dedicated to working with daily instruction in the classroom. So Erica is joining us with a great deal of experience also. Both of these guys are veteran administrators. Wanted to welcome Erica Castillo.
As Evan said, I am very happy to be here. This is an incredible opportunity for me. This is the part of being an assistant principal that I have loved for years, and so to be able to focus specifically on instruction is very exciting to me. And thank you so much. You guys have been so kind and so generous, and your children are so polite. So thank you so much for that, and I look forward to getting to know all of you this year.
Thank you very much, Erica. One of the pieces we really started working on now 2+ years ago was to make sure that we had great communication and really improving our communication systems among the school bodies. And one of the things that we're working on this year, now that we have, I think, a really outstanding website, we have content that we're pushing around the building thanks to Dad's Club and PTA gifting, and actually former class gift also, where students can access information in a variety of ways. I want to thank Drew and also Ms. Snowden for making sure that all these meetings and things that we're discussing are available to people online when they want to catch this information but can't join us for a day. So it's just part of our effort to make sure that that's open and available. And Drew, thanks for the professional work. Drew has also worked around with teacher computers and checking them all summer to make sure that our school is ready. So I will say, shout out Drew, round of applause for him. Thank you. We've had an interesting summer. We had some certainly well-publicized losses of former students, family members, and also we lost a beloved faculty member in Larry Jackson, who is our social studies department chair and AP economics teacher. So as we really started this year, it was an interesting climate, that it was really great for everybody to be back together, and also how do we acknowledge that in a way which is meaningful. So we did a couple of things, and we still are doing some things with that. And one is we made sure over the summer that our counseling staff was available at all times. We had a counselor in the office every day this summer that we were open, which was every day but Friday for a few days in the summer. And also made sure that especially during times of potential crisis, we had counselors on call that if the need was there, they were there in 15, 30 minutes. We really took that quite seriously. We did not want to amplify or make an environment something that wasn't comfortable for students who were struggling, but also make sure that that was there for every one of them. And I want to thank Micah and the rest of the counselors did a great job of just being present. And guys, Candace Connor is a huge resource with regards to her expertise and the discretion she shows in how she works with students. She is behind the scenes and phenomenal. The second part that we did is we dedicated the start of the year to Larry as a faculty. Larry really has inspired a lot of us, and I'll tell you a moment that we had last year when he was going through chemotherapy. He was actually spending 2 days a week up here teaching, and 2 or 3 days, depending on the week, at home Skyping with his class with a sub, and then we actually had somebody with their doctorate in economics from Duke who came in and helped out also. It was a team effort to get students through economics last year, and it was emotional. One of the cool things was I walked by the room every once in a while just to make sure he was okay, and just watching the joy on his face and teaching students, and the joy on the students' faces he was there was truly inspirational to our faculty and to me. And so we dedicated the start of the year, and what we did was we had several of our teachers that were particularly close share what they were doing this year in quiet remembrance in their efforts to honor his memory. So I wanted to let you know that he means a lot to our faculty, and I'll share while it's Kathy Jackson, his wife, is a special ed aide here, and it's really great to have a family for her at the school. So I wanted to make sure that we talked about those, and then got to something that's much, I don't know that it's less emotional, it's less deep, and that is EIC, which is the, exactly, we've got a couple of looks of confusion. EIC policy is the board policy that concerns grading guidelines and GPA. And as we looked at that, we have come up with, and I know that's been well dispersed, I'm not going to go through the details, those are available online and through email, but we really wanted to make sure that we found a policy that was fair, and we had guidelines that were fair, that honored two things. That really honored the rigor and the meaningfulness of a comprehensive transcript for a student, but allowed some flexibility for students to pursue passions that could negatively impact a GPA, or are just things they weren't great at, but they wanted to do. We want to make sure we balance those two things. And there were some real learning lessons for me this year with it. First was the charge that we were given looked a lot more simple than it was deep down. The second piece, and this is a piece of real value, but the dialogue with the community, and while it was public at times and while it was confidential at times, the dialogue to keep it going right, the pushback at different places to make sure that we had balance for our different students really did show a bit of the power of our community. And the next step with this will be, we are waiting in the next month, we should have a charge from the board specifically of what they want us to review for long-term study for GPA. And the next part will be, we will have a facilitated committee involving community members, students, teachers, and probably the administrator standing on the stand, and a couple of counselors, and working through that for a more long-term solution. So solution, it's never going to, it's always going to be changing. But I say a more long-term vision and a real strategic way of approaching that. And I appreciate your patience, and I hope the policy that we have in place and the guidelines in place now makes sense for your child. And I want to thank you all for that. Schedule changes. So the reality is this: there was a time in which we had more teachers and less students. We function as a school on about a third to a quarter of the income per student that some private schools do in this area. And I would argue what we deliver as a product is as good, if not superior in many ways, to anything around the DFW area. And there are other great schools. I'm not diminishing what they do. I'm proud of what we do. And what we do for the budget is absolutely phenomenal. One of the impacts is we've had to look at some cutbacks. We haven't cut programs for kids, and we've actually expanded programs. We've offered more high-end courses. We've offered more math courses in science that are maybe not for the mainstream math or science kid. When I say mainstream, a kid who wants to pursue that in college. But what we've also had to do is make sure that class sizes are up. That causes a problem. It makes it very difficult to move students around. And one of the things that we've had to do is make sure that we are very careful with the process of schedule choices starting in January, February, course verifications in April, checking it as the end of spring and getting those right. And so when the school year starts, it does become very difficult for changes based on teacher request, lunch period, change of interest. Those are very difficult things to do, and I want to thank you for your patience on that. However, there's a bit of a brag point. On the first day, we had 454 schedule change requests. Everything from lunches to teacher, it varied greatly. Some of them were a little out there, and some were very sound requests. But from that 454, once the counselor and the student had met, talked, emails had been exchanged, whatever that communication taken place, we had 10 people that really weren't satisfied with that response or felt it couldn't work. And I've dealt with, Marta Gott and I have worked with 4. So what I'm sharing with you is what it seems to me from this stage, from about 30 feet up in the air from the school, is that I want to thank the teachers for making sure that while it wasn't necessarily what the child thought, they really were like, that's exactly what I envisioned for the year. That's the teacher I wanted. That I would say that most of those have gone very comfortably. If there are things that are contradictory to that, I would ask that you don't tell me now. But we will keep working through that to make sure it's a fit for your child at the best possible. Please understand part of it is being highly efficient with our schedule and staying with the commitments that students made back in spring, because that's who we hire and that's how we build our schedule. So change of pace entirely now. This is not even 180 degrees. This is maybe 261 off to the left turn. At the end of the first day of school, we had a senior student who I saw in the front of the building. She said, Mr. Kelly, there's something sensitive I'd like to talk to you about. I said, absolutely, and we came and we talked to my office. She reported that there was somebody who's basically criminally involved in public lewdness on Westchester in a parking spot between the school and the stadium. And what we did was we immediately called the police. I want to compliment the student because she knew the license plate, she ID'd the guy. It was a spot on. We had the police on it in 3 minutes. They'd identified the person within 5 or 10 minutes, and they were looking for this person to make sure that we followed up. The person was later arrested. It's public knowledge, so it's Timothy Hamilton was the gentleman's name. And here is where we've really found a really nice stride with it. And that is our SRO here, who is a UPPD officer who works in our building every day, and the DARE officer who works with UPPD and the middle and intermediate school every day. We've really found that's an appropriate forum for them to share those safety updates with you and a role for them to play. So if you've seen that in the past few days, know that a couple of things. Student reported it, we took care of it. Police did a very quick job, and I want to compliment UPPD in taking it seriously. And 3, that communication, when we have those things, we will work to make sure that comes out in a timely way with our SROs and administration. So I want to let you know about that and acknowledge that issue. I'm going to take a moment. Are there any questions on that one in particular that we just need to resolve now? Okay. If you are not sure what I'm talking about, if you're clueless, talk to me later and I'll fill you in, or check with the police. They are fully aware of this. I always kind of joke as a teacher that we're going to pass out. Really, I'm hoping not to pass out, and I hope you don't either. But we did distribute, and I want to thank David Hicks, who, by the way, nice fashion sense today, distributed our mission and our vision that we've worked a year and a half on with this. And it's really the printed copy, while we're proud of the product, is really not telling the story. So I want to talk to you about a couple of things that we're really proud about and the work and the direction of the school in the next several years. We had worked as a district for several years with the Cambridge strategic planning model and had a great level of detail and effort and action to make this the best place possible. Some of the limitations of the Cambridge model are that it can be very detailed and cumbersome. The second piece is it's very difficult to convey what's part of that process because it's very wordy and lengthy. So we really wanted to make sure that we had a living document first. We had a mission statement which honored where we were coming from and where we were going, a vision of what this should look like, sound like, and feel like, what's our barometer for a school, and here's the really cool part. Now, I want to hold that for a minute. It's a little bit of a cliffhanger. This is our previous mission. Linda Raya was intimately involved, and she spoke earlier today, and I don't like following Linda because she's just a great and magnanimous speaker, but I guess you have to follow the Beatles every once in a while. But you can look at it and see, and it's very well worded. It's very detailed. There are a couple of things that became dated, things that we felt we had gone past an awareness piece, and we were too really, for instance, technological awareness. I think we're beyond technological awareness. We are certainly aware there's technology in the world. And I'm not making fun of that. There's a lot of work to it. And so when we went to our current mission, there was a lot of discussion, what did we want to make sure we didn't lose? This is our purpose for being. This is why we're here. So I'll give you a chance to take a look at that, or on the yellow sheet that we distributed as opposed to passed out. So as we started it's almost 2 years ago. As we started this process, it was an interesting first day. And Helen Williams, I just saw here and slipped out. She was there. Suzanne Laidlaw, you were there. I saw Jennifer Cody. She was there. A lot of students and teachers. We had a lot of initial discussion, and what became really apparent was we had been I invited you as a group of 22 people with really diverse interests and needs and perspectives on the school. And we didn't have a common language. So we spent the next 6 to 8 months traveling we went to New Trier, Adlai Stevenson, the lab school at University of Chicago, up in the Chicago area, Palo Alto and Gunn. We went to Booker T. Washington. We went to New Tech and Capel. We studied literature from everything from the National Technology Plan to the Bill and Melinda Gates Foundation studies on college readiness. We developed an understanding of what it could look like, and actually we toured our own school. We looked through this school to see what does it look like, to start developing that picture. And the vision that you see came about because of the work that's on the board. At the same time, the district went to a model going from strategic planning to developing a profile of the learner. And that's been well publicized and distributed as well. But these are the key points. And this really dovetailed into the work we were seeing around the country and where we wanted to head. And so we developed a product that is actually, I'm not going to distribute it because it's several pages long. On every one of those categories, we developed things that we were currently doing, things we should consider doing, and factors to consider. So we now have a catalog that is dozens of pages long on a spreadsheet that is shared with our entire faculty of what we look at every year and where we could go with this. So how do we get to the vision by this roadmap? And from that, we decided on 3 critical things that we could do right now to improve our school. One is a focus on community service and civic engagement by our faculty and our students. Part of that is making sure that we communicate well with freshmen, sophomores, and juniors their progress, making sure that we don't wait till their senior year to push the 50 hours and then it becomes a conscript of buying t-shirts and turkeys, and while those are good causes, that's not all of what it's about. And we want to make sure we engage our faculty in that relationship with our kids. That's one level. The second is we're really proud of what our students do. Physically, making the building a display of our best student work. And I can mean the elementary picture of what the artwork of the week was, but really we have technological advances, apps that have been done by students. We have scientific research, which is absolutely phenomenal that our kids did over the summer. So many great things, and really making this building a living testament to that work. And so we really have worked on developing that, and that brings me to the next point. Carrie Ferguson, who's an AP Environmental Science teacher here, primarily AP Environmental Science teacher here, she also has worked with the United Nations on their Millennium Goals on a Fulbright Award. She's fairly bright. She's really nice. And she is leading a research, and she says, development group. So her task is to look at those 2 goals. And also our group was really inspired by New Trier High School's multi-decade-old program they had. And I hesitate to say advisory system because there are a lot of specific connotations that advisory systems are, but the way they had it set up so that one teacher knew their kid for 4 years, that they had a counseling type relationship with them and freed counselors up to do many of the academic planning pieces they are highly qualified to do toward college. And so they wanted to investigate that further, and those are the three things that Carrie and that team of teachers will be working on this year. Okay. No, okay, we're good. Bill 1557, Senate Bill 1557. Raise your hand if you're aware of this, please. Okay, this is a good thing to talk about. I'm really worried about state school finance. I mean, I don't say that lightly. So, you know, there's that message of every year we're worried. I'm letting you know now this is critical. And this will be critical in the legislative session. What happens with court cases in the next year is absolutely critical, and it's critical to the future, not just of this high school, but public education in the state. And the two are intricately linked. You cannot separate our well-being from public education in the state. It cannot be done. And how those issues are resolved is going to determine, a lot of ways, our ability to continue to provide the level of service we do and to do better. That being said, there was a lot that went on with STAR testing, as you guys are aware, the end of course testing. A lot of concern with the lack of planning the state had engaged in, the quality of the test, and the amount of time that it took, and the risk and impact on students. Really, that discussion on the state level, to be candid, was somewhat lost because of the finance issue in the past legislative session just over a year ago. One of the things that Texas Association of School Boards was able to work on and get through was Senate Bill 1557. Bill 1557 allows for 20 school districts to be named by the state of Texas as a high-performing schools consortium and to pilot and develop new accountability and assessment models for schools. Is that clear? So in other words, what do we do if we don't do STAR or TAX, or how do we build that into the system? We have applied. They are past the deadline and letting us know whether or not we got in it or not, but we're going to be nice and hope that that goes well. I cannot state strongly enough that we positioned ourselves in the very best way possible to be part of this group, and now it will be a political decision. Performance-wise, I'm kind of shrugging my shoulders. There's nothing else we could do. We have done everything to show that we have done this right as a school district and a school, and we've met and exceeded all state standards for accountability. So what we hope to do is this. We hope to use college readiness testing that's already present, whether it's ACT or SAT or AccuPlacer, if you're familiar with that test, to use those instead of continued and further testing. If we're testing for college readiness, which is the goal of STAR testing in high school, by the way, we're doing it. Why not use that data? The second part is use the information by College Board and ACT to retrograde or look back, because they actually have correlated if a kid scores this on the plan test or scores this on Explore, here's the likelihood they're going to score a college readiness score by the time they're a senior on ACT in this case. I'm not promoting one product over the other. They both have those. Use that information. Be rigorous with it. And stop testing healthy kids. I mean, it's like going into the doctor and every time you have an x-ray, whether or not you're hurt or not. Use it when we have a need. The second thing that we're looking at is more holistic measures of assessment. Setting standards that are very high, that correlate with state requirements, that allow for electronic portfolios of work to be entered by students and teachers and to be evaluated by outside groups. So hire a group of experts. Look, did the kid demonstrate they knew the things that should be known in biology in high school? If they did, they passed. So we're looking at some things such as this. I can't make that commitment that we're doing it yet. We're awaiting an answer. But here is the piece that I'm very proud of our district, our board, and our superintendent on. We're committed to heading this direction anyway, guys. These are things we're looking at doing anyway. How we merge that with the state is going to be the challenge, and the flexibility, we're waiting to find out with TEA how much flexibility and power we have on a state level on that. But those are things that we're committed to doing. I'm going to tell you off the record, on the side, parenthetically, it's on film and in a room. It's like email, you know, it's out there. Well, nobody's what? Guys, it affected the mood of the campus last year. We basically ran a testing center and an instructional center for 6 weeks. I'm proud of the work we did. It doesn't have to be that way. And so we really are working to see what we can do with that and engaging the state in the conversation on that. There's my soapbox for the day. Any questions on that one in particular? All right. Here's the real quick mention. We've done a couple of things. We've actually quadrupled our district bandwidth. We've installed wireless access points in every room. There's a bit of an oxymoronic message I'm going to tell you with regards to it, but I'm going to tell you the reason we can do these things is private gifting. Simply. Outlets. We have recharge outlets, about 200 in the library and the cafeteria now. And the re-imaging piece really, it's basically updating our software. But it allows for our students, and we really do encourage our students to use the technology that they have at their access, whether it's their own or ours, and providing an environment or the infrastructure for them to do it, and the teacher training that it takes to do that. Because that leads me to the next point. The instructional core is a concept introduced by a guy named Dr. Richard Elmore at Harvard. And he argues that this is the only thing that matters in a school. Now, I wouldn't go quite that far, but the further I'm not dealing with this, the less I'm doing my job, candidly. I love introducing the Scotsman at pep rallies. I love to go to almost all dances. Howdy dance is not my favorite, but I love to go to almost all dances. I love doing those things as a part of a school. It's part of our community. But this is why we're here. And the first part of it is understanding that there is a relationship, and it's not just their three things. They're intricately linked between the student and his or her skill level, the teacher's skill level, and the rigor of the content. And here's something that I'll put myself on a limb with. I'm going to venture to say that teaching causes learning, and one cannot happen without the other. That doesn't mean it's always from a teacher, but teaching causes learning. So anytime we have improvements in what's going on instructionally, or we have good results that we can show objectively, or you know it from your child in the discussions, it's because we're doing this as a community and as a school. The next concept I want to introduce is if you change one, you have to change all. So you talk about the improvements in technology. One of the other things we've done is we sent a cadre of teachers, thanks to private gifting again, to Harvard this summer. And worked with really making sure we're increasing the skill level of our teachers. Because if you change the content and you don't improve the teacher skill, if you change the content and don't improve anything else, you're going to have really difficult worksheets. If you improve the teacher skill, you don't improve the ability of the student to do work. Guess who's doing all the work? The teacher. What's the assurance that the kid can do it? None. So it involves a relationship in addressing all of those. He says if you can't see it in the core, it's not there. In other words, if you think you're doing something for instruction and you can't connect it to one of those things, try again. Task predicts performance. The concept is basically this. If a student, and I'll skip through a couple of these slides pretty quickly. If a student does everything that the teacher asks them to do in the perfect way, or whatever a perfect way kind of looks like, what they imagine, in the end, what's their ability? What can they do? And making sure that we distinguish between, and I'm not picking on English teachers, I really am not. When you're learning lines from Romeo and Juliet, is the student really learning to memorize, or are they really understanding character development? And how do we develop tasks as teachers that lead to this? Because what a student can do is actually the accountability system we want to be measured with. And what we're looking is in designing those accountability systems to be in line with student performance, not student multiple choice answers solely. And again, this is just a reiteration of the fact that we're a learning community. We expect our teachers to learn in this process and our students, and that's a collective effort. And then I'll skip through that. But I wanted to let you know, it's just as a reminder, why we're introducing the next person. It is the ability to focus on instruction, to improve teacher skill sets, to improve the quality of the tasks students are asked to do that matters most to us at a school. The rest of it is community building, is extremely important, but that's the job at hand. As this is a very complex place, Erica has done a great job of getting involved with our teachers. Erica will introduce herself briefly, but she comes with a wealth of experience, formerly was also a STEM principal at the Berkner STEM Academy in Richardson, came from Frisco ISD as an assistant principal, and has done a great job of working with our department chairs and teachers and led our new teachers. So I want to thank you so much for your time and patience going through all this today and taking so much information in. You have my email. You can look at the website, send it, call me on the phone, follow up with anything you would like. And again, good to be a guest with you today. all you have to do?
I just want to make sure because it's a Mac.
Flip that point.
Oh, yeah, we've got the cheerleaders.
Oh.
Okay, thanks.
Yeah, real quick. They're just gonna make a 1 second announcement.
Hi, I'm Kayla Bry.
And I'm Madeline Marks. And I'm Eliza Buell, and we are the varsity cheerleaders this year. Please come support the cheerleaders in Scotsman at the hamburger supper on Friday, September 28th in the cafeteria before the homecoming football game.
And at the hamburger supper, we will be serving hamburgers from Jack's Burger House. We are selling tickets today for $8, and there will be $9 at the door on the night of hamburger supper.
Today we are also selling these Spirit t-shirts outside in long and short sleeve. Raffle tickets are also available to purchase for great raffle baskets. They are $5 each or 6 for $25. Thank you for your support, and we look forward to seeing you on September 28th.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Hi, I know that I'm the thing that's keeping you here, so I'll be brief. But I wanted to talk to you a little bit about what I see my role here and what Mr. Kelly and I have discussed as my role here as the assistant principal for instruction. I mentioned that this is an area that is very near and dear to my heart. I'm a former science teacher, so I do have a little bit of that science nerd in me. And I really am looking forward to working with all of the departments. I see myself as someone who's going to come in and support the exploration of instructional methods. Sometimes as teachers, we want to try new things, but we're just not sure. We don't have the time always to research those practices. And so I really am going to be, or what I see myself as a sounding board, or the person to do all of those, all of that research in looking for new instructional strategies that may be something we can implement as part of our toolkit, because we certainly are doing a lot of great things here. I also see myself as someone who's going to provide consistent feedback for the delivery of instruction. So the teachers and I have been talking. I've already been in classrooms since we've started school, walking in and out and just having conversations that are specific to instruction. And so that's one thing that I think having, not that other assistant principals won't be doing that as well, but having a consistent person in and out of every department, I think will be helpful for teachers in their instructional delivery. And then being available for that reflective dialogue, being able to have those conversations with teachers about what they are doing, what they are trying, and that sort of thing. So that's kind of how I see myself, and I'm not used to the Mac, so I'm gonna, what am I supposed to, there we go. I just want to give you a little update on the things that we have already currently started working on. I'm working with Cindy Carey. She is an instructional specialist that is here part-time, and we have established a new teacher mentor program. I think it's something that has been in the schools before, but we had a very large group of new teachers this year, and so when I say new, they are new to Highland Park. Between the new teachers, we have 158 years of experience. So we are not new by any means in teaching as a profession. We have met with the new teachers 3 times this year so far, yesterday being the 3rd time, talking about how they're doing, what we can do to support them. They're all very excited to be here, and the response that they've had at open house was very, very positive. They're very excited and looking forward to working with you as parents and with your students. I'm also working with a peer coaching program. And one of the things that Mr. Kelly and he started, and as I've been brought in, one of the things that we talk about is we have all this expertise here in this building. And so what our goal with peer coaching is to have our teachers go in and observe each other. But we're giving them the language and the skill set in order to have those conversations that are productive, they're reflective, and how it can improve student engagement and also increase the instructional strategies that are used. So this is a volunteer basis right now, and we have a large number of teachers, probably about a quarter of the staff, maybe, that are working on this process. And so some of your students may tell you that one of my social studies teacher was in my math class, and that's why they're doing that, so that they can go and observe different ways, different teachers and how they are presenting instruction. I will be attending, along with the other assistant principals, the department and subject planning, the common planning times, as a person to bounce ideas off of, provide resources for, and really lead some discussion or participate in discussion about how we increase student engagement, how we make sure that the cognition or the cognitive demand of the task is at a level, like Mr. Kelly said, what are we asking the students to know when they leave? And we want to make sure that the task is in line with what we want them to understand when they leave the class. We have started with some staff development at the beginning of the year, and a lot of that was led by teachers. We had some teachers who presented on the flipped classroom instructional practice, and these are all ideas and ways that we can improve instruction, and it's, like I said, just part of the toolkit. So some of the teachers are using the flipped classroom idea, and so they presented to each other on that. We also had a session. Some of our teachers who went to Harvard this summer presented on the cognitive demand of the task and making sure that that level of engagement is there in those classrooms. And then we also talked about the teacher as a learner and that peer coaching piece and how valuable that can be. And then lastly, being in the classroom. I think that one of the things that all teachers want is they want validation for the efforts that they are making and that they're doing a good job, and that where there's continual growth in any profession, and that having someone in there to have those conversations. And we started that this week. So I'll plan on continuing to do that. So I hope to get to know your students while I'm not assigned to any particular alphabet. You will see me at student activities. I will be at the football game and the dances alongside everybody else. So I'm hoping to get to know your kids in that way, and also that they will see me in their classes and be able to start getting to know the students in that manner. So I look forward to being here. I'm very excited to be here, and I look forward to meeting all of you and your students. And if you have any questions, I am located right next to Mary Schaefer, in Mary Schaefer's old office, right next to Mr. Kelly's office. So if you'd like to come by and talk or shoot me an email, I would appreciate that. Everybody's been very kind since I've started. So thank you very much.
Okay, a couple of quick things. Thanks for everyone for coming today, and I hope you've learned a lot. We have this for Mr. Kelly as a gift card for your favorite restaurant, we hope. And we have these centerpieces, lovely centerpieces that Central Market donated. And so Erica and Evan, you are the winners of those. So you're welcome gift. And we have, let's see, one quick announcement about the basketball team. The girls have their annual dad-daughter hamburger dinner on September 18th. It's $30 for dinner for two, and that includes a t-shirt, and it's in the parking garage on Westchester. Right, Becky? Okay. And then Sarah Clark, who's right here, is representing PC Tag. If you'd like to join, she has the flyers and all that information. I think we are adjourned. Thanks.
This presentation is brought to you by HPTV. If you or someone you know would like to sponsor this unique TV station, please email Mrs. Kelly Snowder at snowdeck@hpasd.org. And from all of us here at HPTV, we thank you for watching.